Yes,
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 yes, sir.
okay. So you can see the day one, module one that I put on my Google Slides or Google Sheet.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I like the energy. I like the energy in the house this morning. So I think that will help me do a good presentation. Okay, so quick one because we've lost time. I would try and wrap everything up and then still make it very worth your while this morning. So my name is Benga. My name is Benga Richmond. I'm sure Mr. Timilehin has done a good job introducing me. And I believe that even before this morning, you will have heard one or two things about the fact that the 7th week is going to be the freelancing week. And the reason why we decided to bring freelancing as the last module or the last, bring it towards the end is that once you have been able to acquire skills, then you still need one component before you can become truly self-empowered. And that is being able to access the marketplace. Are you still with me, everyone?
Yes, sir.
So you need to be able to access the marketplace. And Africa is at a point now where we need to dish the old system of things and engage the new. And I'm really very excited with what Nets Factory is doing in collaboration with GIZ and GIZ also. So we've been discussing the ESCOs or the founders or the people behind the Nets Factory project. We've had meetings, and they've made me understand that the major goal of this training, which will take place today and then 2 days hence, is to help you access the marketplace with your skills. I don't want to go into details telling you the MBS statistics on unemployment. I'm sure we all know that 1 in every 3 or 4 people in Nigeria, for example, is unemployed. And a large chunk again that seem to be going to work are even underemployed. So let me give you an instance, like in Abuja here, where people assume that anyone in Abuja is probably close to Buhari and making a whole lot of money. But the truth is that even young people, young graduates, even in my church, I know people who they've graduated and you'll be amazed that they are earning like 45 to 50,000 a month. Can you imagine that? Are you still with me?
Yes, I'll stay with you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we are good with you, sir.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Error.
Okay. Thanks for the response. So, still earning like 40,000 a month. By the time you take out, transportation, they have to eat, and not to even talk about accommodation. They have nothing left at the end of the day. So it's gory out there, but there is a silver lining at the end of the tunnel, which is why we are coming up to try and give you value, to try and give you hope, to try and connect you to the marketplace. Even if that marketplace has to be outside Nigeria, outside Africa, no problem. So today is day one, module one, and then I'm starting with which way Africa. So it's a question I'm throwing at myself and at everyone listening to me right now, the audience, which is that, interestingly, in 2016, I was part of the President Obama's Young African Leaders Initiative, which was set up to empower young or emerging African leaders on the continent. And then we traveled for the training, spent about 6 weeks or thereabout, mixed and mingled with all kinds of bright minds all across Africa. And we came back with so much, so much potential, so much to do in all the things that we are doing. And we came back with pet projects, things we wanted to get done. And it was really something that we hoped we'll be able to do something with. But before long, as we started to partner with government, partner with development agencies, we got discouraged and we had to give it up. So while we were at the training, one of the things that they told us was the empowerment of Africa is in the hands of Africans. Americans are not going to come to Africa to, develop you guys. Neither is Europeans or even the Chinese or Asians. So we are the ones who are going to empower ourselves. Even if development agencies abroad are going to come and help us, it's like this adage. There's this proverb where I come from, which is Yoruba, that says that it is a child that raises up his hands that the parent carries. Are you still with me, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
So it is the child that raises up his shoulders that the parents carry. And what you are doing for the past 6 weeks is you being a child raising up your shoulder so that the elders, so that parents, so that other people who have a mind for empowerment can carry you up and take you to the next level. And that's what we are doing this morning. So which way, Africa? The thing is, we've tried to bring in so many, as in we've been hoping that leadership, would bring about change in Africa, that, okay, the right leaders will magically come and then transform Africa. We've been hoping that someday, somewhere, a state governor will come and bring empowerment. We've been hoping and praying that one day somebody will just be the Messiah and transform Africa. But we've been waiting for so many years. As a matter of fact, in a few days from now, Nigeria will be how many years? I want you to help me. Remind me. How many years?
60.
Yes. So imagine a 60-year-old man, is he not already going towards the grave? A 60-year-old man should have done a lot, So if Nigeria at 60, we are still where we are, there is hope, but I think we have to look in another direction. And that direction is what we'll be sharing within the next 3 days. So which way, Africa? And then the next thing I'm taking now is the birth of freelancing. The birth of freelancing. So now, if you look at the concept of freelancing, it all started where, how do I put it now? It all started, let me try to talk to you so you can see my face. I think that will help. Let's talk. See my face as I'm talking with you. Can you see me now?
Yes, sir.
You are handsome, sir.
So let me not hide behind the screen. Let's talk face to face, guys. So freelancing, the way freelancing happened, it all started between America and India. And by the way, before I go any further, there are two things you need to get straight before I go deeper into what freelancing is and the essence of this training. And the first thing is that we are, as I'm talking to you, we are already scouting for about 10 to 20 people who are going to be the best students of this class. So I think I should just give you a heads up, or what we call EXPO, that you have to listen very attentively. You have to be very interactive. When I ask questions, you come up and give me good answers. So, because I'll be taking note of the brightest students. And just like what somebody said somewhere, that a closed mouth is a closed destiny. So please, when it's time for questions and answers, don't keep quiet saying, oh, I know everything. So we'll be assessing based on the intelligent questions you're asking, based on the interactiveness of this whole program. We'll be choosing people who will come out tops as the brightest students, and then there's a kind of scholarship for them, which the organizers of this program will be giving you a heads up or details on. So, and then after every masterclass or training like this, there's going to be an assessment. So a kind of like a quiz where I will ask you big questions. They call it 3 questions. They look simple, but they are hard. So I'll ask you 3 questions to see whether you've been listening to this training or you've just been looking at my face, but not really picking key stuff. So these are the 2 things I felt I needed to tell you heads up so that you're not caught unaware. So please listen attentively, take notes when you need to, ask intelligent questions, and then we can all achieve success together. Do I have a yes from everybody so we'll get this started?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm really gingered. So let's go straight to what I wanted to talk to you about, which is freelancing. When you want to get involved in something for the first time, one of the best things to do is to learn about the history of that thing. You need to know how it started. You know, if you want to go into medicine, it's important that you understand how medicine started. Who were the first medical doctors? How did they come about the concept of medicine, and so on and so forth like that. So now, I'm saying that to say that we need to dig deep into the background, the backstory behind freelancing. How did freelancing start? What caused it? So when we look at all of those backstory, you can better understand how it can benefit you, how you can profit from it. So now, here's the story of freelancing according to Benga Richmond. So freelancing started between America and India. And the story was that in America, if you wanted to get, if you wanted to do, what's the simplest or the easiest surgery? I think that's appendix. If you want to, this appendicitis stuff. So if you want to remove, you know, if you have this appendicitis condition, and then you needed a doctor or a surgeon in America to remove it for you. So we'll be using hypothetical numbers. So, but the idea, the concept is what's important, not whether the numbers are right or wrong. So what I'm trying to say in essence is, let's assume that in the US, an American wants to do this appendix operation, and then it costs $10,000 to get it done in America. So they were paying the $10,000 joyously, because the way you feel when you have that condition, you know, you'll be like, what's $10,000? So it's easy for you to pay the surgeon to get the condition out of your system. So that continued for many years until somebody had the appendix condition and could not afford $10,000. So he or she started looking for alternatives. Are you saying that I'm going to die or be having to bear this condition for the rest of my life just because I don't have it? I don't have $10,000. And as a result, the person decided to look for alternatives. Are there other surgeons in other parts of the US, even outside the US, that can get this thing done cheaper? And that's where India came to mind. So somebody somewhere told this patient to go to India, that he will be able to get the procedure done for far cheaper than $10,000. So this person took a trip to India, and then by the time he got to India, he discovered that even the procedure, the precision of the procedure looked better than what American doctors would have done, number one. And then number two, he found out that he didn't have to pay more than $3,000 in India as compared to $10,000 in America. So when the person was coming back to the US, he was like, wow, just by changing location, just by leaving the US and going to, I'm going to India, he was able to save $7,000. Okay, let's even say flight money, return ticket, everything. Let's say that's like $2,000. So if you do the balancing, you'll find out that at least he saved $5,000 that he would have spent extra if, I see someone saying 7K difference. So there's a 7,000, thanks for the correction. There's a 7,000 difference. 3,000 in India, 10,000 in America. If you do the math, that's a difference of 7,000. So let's assume that $2,000 went for, you know, hotel bills. What's it called? Apart from hotel bills, let's say it went for flight ticket and what have you. Maybe Uber trips back and forth from the hotel to the hospital. At least this patient was able to save $5,000 after cost. So, and of course, he took the news to America. The next person that had another procedure, and remember, appendix is like the cheapest procedure you can do with a surgeon in the US. So when they now started having issues like heart transplants, like kidney disease, like more complicated procedures, guess where they went? They started going to India for the procedures. And a procedure like heart transplant that will cost like $100,000 in the US by somebody is saying that guy has spoiled market for doctors in America. Exactly. he did spoil market for American doctors. So before long, what started happening was that everybody that had any serious medical condition started going to India for their procedures. And remember the two things. Number one, the procedure was excellently done, almost better than the procedure in America. And then secondly, it was like 3 times, 4 times, or 5 times cheaper. That was the bet of freelancing. So what is freelancing? Freelancing is more like, okay, these guys in America, when they needed procedures done, they changed location and came to India to get it done cheaper and probably even better. So who like the vernacular, who know like better things? At the end of the day, India, I think it was their medical procedures, that kind of like came up first, then before the second one I'm going to talk to you about. So after that, I think maybe some of those people, as they got to India, they were like, hey, is it just medical procedures that you guys can do? Isn't there something you guys can do in India that will be cheaper than what we have in America? And that's where IT came. As I know right now, that when it comes to IT, when it comes to software development, app development, what have you, the number one go-to place is India. If you've seen Indians handle the laptop doing software, you will be amazed. You'll be so amazed because they are so good at it and they are so cheap. So it's like the best of both worlds. So India became known for IT, go-to place for IT around the globe. India became known for medicine. Anything that had to do with surgeries and whatever, or IT or anything tech, you go to India for the procedures. Okay, so that's one part of the freelance story. The second part, let's talk about Africa. Now, what is making freelancing? In fact, you can quote me. I think in the next 5 to 10 years from now, the solution to Nigerians' unemployment problem is going to be freelancing. You can quote me. Say Richmond said that during a training, that the solution to Nigerians' problem, we've tried better leadership, but we are not seeing better leadership anywhere. So the only way out is freelancing, which supports this concept of the global village, where okay, I don't want to start talking about coronavirus now until later because I have a topic on it, but coronavirus proved to the world that we are, whether you are black, blue, green, black American, white, whatever your color, coronavirus put us in the same bucket. Something that started in China before you could say Jack is already all over the world. So if a virus like corona can take over the world in just 2 months, then aren't we truly a global village? We are truly a global village. So now freelancing is the way out. I believe it very strongly in my spirit that freelancing is the solution to Nigerians' unemployment problems. But a solution sometimes will not just, will not just happen overnight. It's a work in progress. And I believe you are fortunate right now to be among the early birds, the pioneers, hearing about this thing, starting it out, and then bringing others into the system. I'm so excited because, when history is written, they will say that Richmond was one of the first people to start introducing freelancing to Nigerians and then Africans. And then you guys too can be excited saying that, well, we didn't introduce it, but we were the first partakers of the blessings of freelancing. So this is why you need to be very attentive, ask questions when you're not clear, and make sure that, you're flowing with me, step by step. Okay, let me take a pause now. Is everyone still with me?
Yes, sir, we're here.
Okay. Yes, Director.
We are here.
You are hitting the point.
Okay. Yes, am I making?
Yes.
This question is interesting already.
Okay. So thanks for
that definition.
Okay. So let's
Does freelancing has the standard definition?
Yes. Later on in this.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, I can hear you, John.
Definition.
Yes, I can hear you, John. It does, and then later in the slides, I have a definition for freelancing that will capture more like a standard definition. Is that okay, John? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
yes,
so
sir.
let's move on.
Yes, sir.
Let's move on.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let me try to get back to the slide and see where we are so that we don't go ahead of ourselves. Okay, let me see. Okay. Okay, so now the next thing I'm going to share with you is something called my freelance success story. Are you ready to hear it?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Fire on, sir. I can't wait.
Yes, sir.
Can't wait.
How I became a freelancer. I know you'll be interested in that. I know you, that part will make sense to you.
I tell you.
Okay, so one has, guys, let's take this story quick. My freelance journey is a very crazy story, a very interesting story. It's something that when I share it, when I share it anywhere I go to train, or when I'm invited to speak, people are wowed by my story. I hope you are wowed too this morning. Okay, so my story started let's say from 2010, from the year 2010 to the year 2016, for like 6 years, I discovered that I had a writing gift. In fact, my writing gift, let me tell you the first place, let me even go further than that. The first time I realized I had a writing talent was in my secondary school. That was my SS2 going to SS3. And then this story I'm going to share with you, please enjoy it, but use it to start looking into your own past. Maybe you'll be able to unravel a gift that God has given you for you to bless the world with. So let me tell you how I found out my writing calling, so to speak. So in secondary school, it was SS2, and then I'm sure you guys are familiar with this thing called night prep. I was in boarding school, and then there's this thing we do called night prep. And with night prep, what we do is we go, when it's evening, I think by 7 p.m. or so, we go into a large hall, and then we try to study. The reason why I'm using the word try is that most people don't study actually. It's a time to meet, to socialize, to do stuff. But the actual essence why the school created night prep was for study. Okay, so this fateful day, I went with my friends. I don't know how young or old some of you are, but do you know this rechargeable lantern that could do so many things? It had a fluorescent bulb. It has
a radio.
Thank you very much. It had a radio. It had a cassette. You know this cassette now. We're using DVDs now. There was this cassette player. It has an antenna for FM. You know that that multi-purpose whatever device. Let me call it device. Multi-purpose device. So
I had one in my NYC.
Aha! Thanks so much. So at the time that thing was just coming out, I'm talking about 2001, the year 2001. So no, I think 2000. Okay, between 2000 and 2001. So I went home for the I think the break. There was a short break, and then when I got home, my mom surprised me with that device. That okay, instead of using candles and lanterns and those stuff that can spoil your eyes, use this multi-device to improve your study. So when I brought it to school, interestingly, I think it was only me that brought it to school. Everybody was still using their lanterns and whatever. I was the only one. I was the first to bring it to my school. So the first, you can imagine, I couldn't wait for the first night prep because I wanted to show off my new device. So when I got there, when I got to the night prep, so we have different tables. So people sit according to friendship or relationship or whatever. So on my table, we were 4, me and 3 of my best friends. So I put the rechargeable lantern there. So the first thing I did was to put on the fluorescent, so everybody started looking at our table that, wow, so these guys have a fluorescent. What kind of, some of them knew about the device, but they couldn't afford it. So they were like, oh, so this guy brought this device that is making the waves everywhere now. So then How many of you know Ayefele, this guy that sings, this singer, this Ayefele guy? So,
Yes, sir.
thank you. So Ayefele had just brought this new release. I can't remember so I was playing that Ayefele song with the cassette. He had just released it in the cassette, so I was playing it, and it was so interesting. Everybody started. I turned that hall to a disco hall within like 10 minutes. Everybody was dancing to the, crooning to the new song and all that. Whereas that hall was supposed to be for somebody is saying, Zainab is saying premium value. Yes, so I turned the place to a karaoke. Now that I think of it, I'm really laughing. I turned it to a disco hall. So everybody was dancing, like excited. So, but there was one killjoy. One killjoy that, in secondary boarding schools, the principal lives with us on the grounds. So they went to inform the principal that these your students that are supposed to be doing night prep. They've turned it to a party hall. So that's how the principal came. And he came so quietly because he wanted to, catch, he was coming towards our table. So he wanted to catch one of us or hold one of us. And then, of course, one of us will produce the rest of the culprits or so. So, cut the long story short, he tried to grab one of us. Somebody hinted us, hey, principal is here. And we escaped. So the next day was assembly grounds. We were supposed to be on the assembly grounds. And when we got to the assembly grounds, of course, I didn't go. The other 3 people, I thought they wouldn't go. But one of them, I don't know what he was doing on the assembly grounds. He went there. And that was how they made a call. Thank you. Principal was looking for a scapegoat, and he found a scapegoat. One of my friends, for reasons I don't understand, went to the assembly grounds, and he was called out. He was given 14 lashes of the cane, and now told to produce the 3 of us. That if he didn't produce the 3 of us before the end of that day, they were going to expel the 4 of us. And remember, it was just, I think, a month or 2 to our WAEC. So expelling us at this time, now serious something. So, he came back, he told us about it, that we just have to go and see the principal, blah, blah, blah. Cut long story short again. So one of my friends who was on the table, he had a guardian who was a teacher. So we went to the staff room. We pleaded with her, please, you have to bail us out. See, this is our final year. We can't become miscreants. We have to graduate, whatever. At the end of the day, the lady said, this principal is a no-nonsense guy. That is a no-nonsense guy. We just have to, he can't help us. She can't help us. That we just have to go and pray. So we pleaded with her, please just help us. We know you have a child like us. We shall find a way of convincing her. So she now said that the only thing she could do was to, if we can write an apology letter. That if we can write an apology letter, he will snake it to the table of the principal, and then she would escape before the principal got back to his office. That's the only thing he could do. So you can imagine when he say, "And I don't have time. Write the apology letter now in the next 2 minutes." Or me, I'm going. So just imagine what happened. I just looked for a pen. I got a pen. I now told one of my friends to bend over. So it was his it was his back I used as table, and then I started writing stuffs. I don't know what I was writing, but I was just writing stuff. So within the next 3 minutes, and you can imagine that the staff room teacher was like, "Hurry up! Oh, I don't have all day. I'm going out." So at the end of the day, we shall eventually finish. I finished writing the apology letter, squeezed it into our hands, and we escaped back to our hostel to expect our to expect our judgment, judgment from the wicked principal. Because that guy is so wicked. He's a no mercy guy. He doesn't forgive. If you enter into his trap, it's either he expels you, or if he likes you, he suspends you, maybe indefinitely or something, until you bring your parents. So at the end of the day, we were waiting for our fate. And that was how 2 hours later, we were called up to the principal's office. He said he wanted to see us now. So we had no choice but to go into his office. And then immediately we got into the office. We had rehearsed that once we enter the principal's office, we just prostrate. As in, once we open the doors, oh yeah, everybody on the floor prostrating. And then we'll start begging him. So, and then after our rehearsal, we knocked. Who is that? Come in. All of us just went straight to the ground. So I think that took him by surprise. What's this one? What are they doing? So, but I think where he, where I think this Zainab girl is really on my case this morning. He said blackmail for principal or something like that. Emotional blackmail. Yes, so we had to blackmail the guy. So at the end of the day, you know, we now waited for him to say something because we said our heads will be bowed on the floor. We are not going to look up until we hear from him. So after like 5 seconds, we didn't hear from this man. What happened? Why is this man not talking? So when we tried to look up, we now saw that he was also looking at us. So when one of us looked and said, okay, so you finally looked up. I have a question for you guys. Who among you wrote this apology letter? And that is where I fear Africans. The minute this principal asked the question, before he ended the sentence, everybody, the remaining 3 just pointed, it's him, sir, it's him, sir, it's him, sir. It's him that wrote the letter. Because they were sure that I had said something terrible and that maybe it's me they were expelled. You see, friends, that's also a lesson for you guys. Don't be too, you can have friends, but don't be too trusting. They were all pointing fingers at me. It's the guy that wrote it. It's not me that wrote it. Blah, blah, blah. So at the end of the day, what happened? The principal said, you wrote it. So with shaking voice, I said, yes. I said, oh yeah, you stand up. So I stood up and it was like, are you sure you're the one that wrote this letter? I said, yes. He said, where did you learn to write? That there was a part of the statement, and there was a part of the apology letter where you said, sir, please tender justice with mercy. That how can an SS2 or SS3 student, are you a lawyer? He said, are you a lawyer? I said, sir, I'm still a secondary school student. He said, is your parents, are they in the legal profession? I said, no, they're not in the legal profession. He said, okay, who told you, where did you learn to use that statement, that tender justice with mercy? I said, well, I just know it. I read a lot. I read widely. I read novels. I read stuff. So, and then maybe I must have picked it up somewhere. So, and that was where he said, well, they went through the letter, that the apology letter was well scripted, that he couldn't imagine. Incidentally, I needed to add this juice to the whole story. Incidentally, my principal had a master's in linguistics from one of these American universities. So it was so awesome to him, you know, someone who has a master's in linguistics, and he was marveling at what a high school boy was writing, especially under pressure. So it was like, wow, I checked through every line. I had to read this letter over and over again. I couldn't believe my eyes. So if you could write this letter, then I think there is hope for you guys. It's probably that it was one of those unguarded moments, one of those 5-minute madness that everybody must have one time or the other, that you guys were disturbing the peace. And so for this letter they have written, I have proof that you guys are not miscreants. I know that you guys are not never-do-wells. And then with some direction, you guys can make something out of your life. And for the first time in the history of the school, this man decided to let us go. No suspension, no serving of punishment. He just said, for this letter you guys have written and with how you carried yourself, I'm letting you go for free. It was the first time in the school. And when that happened, from becoming students due for expulsion, we became the most popular guys, the musketeers or whatever you like. We became the top 4 most popular, top 4 famous guys in high school till, you know, we finished. We were so popular everywhere. The first people that the principal, you know, set free. So I think it was at that point that I realized that I had a gift of the gap. They call it gift of the gap. Or no, not gift of the gap. Gift of the gap is speaking, but I had a writing gift because I had at that point I didn't go to any writing school. I didn't do anything. So how come a master's in linguistics principal was excited about an apology letter that I wrote? It wasn't like I had enough time. I wrote under pressure. So that's where I knew. So the first time I knew that I had a writing gift was in 2001 when I really did something to catch the attention of the principal. So the question for you now is, I know you're enjoying my story because I can see the feedback on the charts, but beyond enjoying my story this morning, I want you to take a pause and look back into your life. What is that thing that you do effortlessly? What is that thing that you do without thinking? What is that thing that your friends and family commend you for? This guy's a good speaker. This guy's a good listener. This guy's I like your sketches. I do this and do that. That thing that has gotten you out of trouble, that has gotten you in, that has opened a door for you, that has done one thing or the other for you. If you check it, if you dig deep, that is your calling. Yeah, I call it calling. Pardon me. It's a calling. Everybody on this earth has a calling, which is something like a gift that you're going to use to change the world or change your community or change your family or bring about a breakthrough. And every one of you here who are listening to me right now, I believe strongly that you have something in you that you can use to transform Nigeria and by extension, Africa. Okay. Are you guys still with me?
100%, sir.
Wow.
You're touching my intestine, sir.
Yeah.
My heart and my soul.
Part of my heart. Oh God.
Hello. So
We can hear you, sir.
So I'm so excited that you followed me up to this point. So that's the story of how I became a writer. And then for 10, well, let's say 2001, right? So I started going to do other things, but I started taking my writing seriously again in 2010. So between 2010 to 2016, I was writing everywhere, up and down, writing grants for people, doing reviews, writing CV, whatever, grant proposals. I was doing all kinds of things for Nigerian clients. And I'm going to tell you a not so good result, which was that in Nigeria, people, I'm sorry to say, but people don't value talent here. People don't value creatives here. If you're a designer, if you're a writer, if you're a photographer, if you're creative, they don't see a big deal in it. The only thing people value here is you're a politician, you're a senator, you're a, what's it called? So, but the good news for you this morning also is that there is someone somewhere. In fact, a lot of people who value your creative genius. And that is what freelancing is about. They say that if we cannot find creatives if we cannot find people who value us here, because we are like in the minority, how many creatives do you have in the world? There are very few, but we are the ones who are underserved. We are marginalized. We are not taught to be anything. So, but thank God for freelancing now. If they won't value us here in Africa, people will take our craft around the world and get expression. Is that not it, guys? No, be so.
That's
so,
true, sir.
So, point, sir.
Okay.
So,
Okay, so okay, so let me check my slides and see the next thing we are supposed to take. Give me a second. Let me have a look at my slides. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so I'm still on my freelance success story. So in 2017, I wrote a book. I think around March, April, when I went for the yearly program, something like that. And then the book, if you remember, 2016, there was a recession. And then I wrote a book, 33 Winning Ways Out of a Recession. And the money they gave me at the US, and that they gave me in dollars, I think they gave me some good dollars. where people were going to the market buying the latest clothes and iPhones and what have you. I decided to use my own funds to, to print 1,000 copies of my book in 2017, which is titled 33 Winning Ways, 33 Winning Ways out of a Recession. So I wrote that book, and my plan was to sell it 500 a piece, and then people will read it. It had like 33 ideas that you can use to become self-empowered. That's right. One of them was even this Uber. You can drive for Uber. There were so many ideas in the book. Each point, I broke it down into how much you would even make if you're able to follow through that business and succeed with it. Anyways, the unfortunate story is that I printed this book, I brought it to Nigeria, I tried to sell it in all different ways. Is it the roadside booksellers? Is it the bookstores? Is it the good news? The bad news is that out of the 1,000 copies I printed, I think I still have 700 copies somewhere stocked in my store. People were not buying even for 500. Just thank you. Eddie is saying Nigerians don't value books, and that's just the truth. No wonder somebody said if you want to hide something from an African, put it in a book. We want to buy the latest iPhones, but we don't want to improve and boost our knowledge, which is why we are where we are today. But I'm believing that you and me can make that change. Somebody is saying if it's movie now, they'll buy. Anyway, so now the point is, at that point too, I now met, there was a Ghanaian who was also a fellow. We started to talk, and then she wanted us to partner and do a book for Africa, which we did. So we titled the book 47 Ways to Win. So we increased the ideas from 33 to 47. And then at the end of the day, we were able to, get it out there into the Ghanaian market. And it's a story for another day, because my Ghanaian partner duped me out of a project I brought her into. It's a story for another day, so I'm not going to go into that this morning. But my point is, between 2010 and 2017, I was trying to find expression with my writing. I wrote books, I didn't make money. I wrote CVs for people, I didn't make money. I wrote grants, proposals for people, I didn't make money. I was just going down and down into poverty. I'm telling you this story, I'm sharing my pain point to you this morning to let you know that whatever level you are with your creative juice right now, I've seen worse. I've seen worse. I've invested so much to produce content that was not valued, that was not paid for. And I used to tell people, anyone close to me, that if not for freelancing, I would have been under the bridge right now. And that's the truth, because, no one values writing in this part of the world. That was until January 2018. So what happened? In January 2018, I saw this article. The article talked about somebody who, he was a Nigerian who, signed up on a platform called Fiverr, started, but his own was not writing, it was audio production. So he does audio production. So he signed up as a seller on a platform called Fiverr as an audio producer or something like that. And he said within Fiverr.com. Oluwatobi, yes, that's right, Fiverr.com. He signed up on Fiverr, and then he was able to, within a year, the story is crazy. Within a year, he built a house, and then he bought 2 cars. So that was the story he put in the article. So he now said, well, I don't have time doing creating courses or writing e-books. I'm busy making money on Fiverr. So, but if you want more information, click this link. I went to this forum, and then they told me all about it, and I succeeded, hoping you will succeed too. That was all I needed. So I clicked the link after reading the article, and then it took me to a forum. And on that forum, I started to, find out how to go about it. So it was like a black market for me. It wasn't as structured as what I'm doing with you today. It's not as structured. It was like black market. I was in the black market looking for information. Okay, how do I sign up on Fiverr? Would they accept writers? All those questions, it was Google. Google was the only friend I had telling me answers. Okay, can I succeed as a writer on Fiverr? Can I even succeed as a Nigerian on Fiverr? There were so many questions like that running through my head at the same time, but I took action, which is something I want you to take note of. even when you're having doubts about something, take action. This program that you have signed up for, I'm sure there are over 100 million Nigerian youths who could have signed up to this program, but the 100 or 120 of you is a minuscule percentage of the people who really need this program. That you've taken the action to sign up for this program, that you have gotten to the 6th week and this is even the 7th week, it can only lead to success if you don't give up. So I started taking action, black market, trying to find out, okay, how do I do this? What do I do about this? You know, it took me about 3 days. I got a lot of the, I took a lot in from Google, from articles, from blog posts, from YouTube, and then I decided to take action. So I saw this article January 28, 2018, and then by February 1, I set up my profile on Fiverr. By February 3rd, I think, I got my first job. So within 3 days, I got my first job. It was a $5 job. And I'm going to say this because when I share my results to people, when I tell them what I make as a freelancer, they are looking at the top, as in where I am now, but nobody wants to listen to where I started from. So, and I'm hoping that your case is different, right, guys?
Right, sir.
Yes, sir.
Very good.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Yes,
So,
sir.
you know, always, when you want to connect with someone who has made success in something, don't be looking at his house or his jeeps or his this thing. Find out, how did he start? What was his first income? How long did it take him? Those are the things that can lead to success, not his cars. He won't share his car with you, he won't share his house with you, but those process stories are the most important, which is what I'm dwelling more on today. Okay, so at the end of the day, my first job on Fiverr was $5, which was, I think, February 3rd, 2018. So it was this lady that wanted me to write the About Us section of, I'm checking time so that by, oh boy, it's to 12, right? I'm just trying to confirm. To 12.
Sir, don't take time. Write down.
Yes.
Me, I need to take some time off to drink water. So I'm checking the time. Don't worry. By 12, we just take a 5-10 minutes break. You know, we lost some time, so we won't take 30 minutes. We just do 5-10 minutes, and then we'll continue. Is that okay?
All right, it's good, sir.
So that I can take water and catch my breath for the next session. Is that okay?
Great.
Okay, so that was how I was able to get my first job. So it was an About Us section. You know, abroad they like pets a lot. You know, they can even sleep on the same bed with their what's it called? With their dog, with their cat, and whatnot. So, you know, this lady had a pet blog. So she had just registered the domain. So she was looking for a content writer who will help. What's the word? Who will help write her About Us section. You know, when you go to any site, there's a place where they say About Us. So the person wanted to know about that About Us section of the pet blog. So she contacted me on Fiverr and said, "Hey, Richmond, I need you to help me do this About Us section. It's about 100 words or 150 marks. And then I'm giving you 24 hours to fulfill it. I'm going to pay you $5 for this job, blah, blah, blah." So, and I took on the job. I was so excited. But I did something different. And I want you to take this. If you don't take anything out, take this too. When you are dealt an opportunity, grab it with both hands and legs. So she gave me 1 hour, she gave me 24 hours to fulfill. But remember my days in high school where I wrote an apology letter under pressure. Remember all the years, 7 years, that I've been trying to write content for Nigerians and I wasn't getting paid much. So when this opportunity came that this lady was going to give me $5 to write 100 words, I didn't need 24 hours. In 20 minutes, I was done. 20 minutes after, she was still online. So I sent her a message. "I'm done writing you About Us. Can you have a look?" And she was almost angry. She replied saying, "Richmond, you can't be done writing the About Us section of my blog in 20 minutes. We just met. Have you even checked the materials I sent? Have you looked at my LinkedIn profile to learn 1 or 2 things about me? You know, how can you be done with About Us section in 20 minutes? So I said, "Well, I'm sorry about that, but can you just have a look at what I have written? And then maybe if it's not exactly what you want. You can, if not exactly what you want, you can, what's the word now? You can point me in the right direction. So he said, okay, I'll have a look. So the next thing I saw, 30 minutes to 1 hour later, I received an email from Fiverr. I was so scared. I was so scared. I was so scared because I was like, hope this first, and that was my first client ever on Fiverr. Hope this client has not reported me to Fiverr and then maybe Fiverr was banning my account or something. But I checked the email and what I saw really delighted me. What I saw was that the lady, without even revising what I had written or anything, decided to pay me the $5. So Fiverr was congratulating me for making my first money ever on Fiverr, and it was very interesting. I was like, wow, so this thing is real. $5. I have this, and $5 in 20 minutes. At this rate, I think I can do a lot with this. I was so excited. And then I think another 30 minutes later, I received a second email from Fiverr, and I was scared. I was like, I hope the lady has not gone back to say, oh, I don't like the content, I want a refund, because they can ask for refunds on this freelance platform. So I thought the email, I thought the $5 email was, to ask for a refund. I don't know why my mind was just so negative during those days, but I mean, you can't blame me. I've been in a system where for 7 years I wasn't getting paid, so I had to think negative like that. So when I received the second email, you won't believe what was there. The email was, the lady gave me, the first email, she paid the $5. The second email, she gave me $5 tip. I want to ask you a question. If you've been designing something for someone in Nigeria, when was the last time anybody gave you a tip? Oh yeah, answer me, guys. When was the last time somebody gave you a tip for work done?
You don't take.
No.
I hear you.
They would
Somebody is even saying that the one that you even worked for, they've not even paid you. Then they will give you tip. Shebi, if you worked for 500 naira, have they even paid you that 500? Not to talk of tip on top. So that's the kind of system we find ourselves. But abroad, if you go and take a drink in a cafe, and then you have to kind of like, it's not like it's compulsory, but you drop a tip. Like when I was in South Africa, and then I went to, what's the name of this? McDonald's. So I was in McDonald's somewhere around Pretoria in South Africa, and by the time I was done taking my milkshake and hamburger and whatever, I dropped some rands on the table for the person clearing it. So when you are in a place like South Africa, or because South Africa is abroad, just forget about it. When you're there, you're in Europe. So when I was there, I had to learn to drop tips on the table. So, but over here, for where even the one you worked for, have you been paid? So, but the narrative is about to change thanks to freelancing. So I got another $5 as tip, and that's how my journey began in freelancing. So I was so happy. I thank God for the opportunity, the open door. I finally found expression for my writing craft. That's how my story began, guys. So from there, the lady that gave me a $5 job now said, Richmond, if you could in 20 minutes write an about us section that I have no revision, that is so perfect, that even me myself, I can't write an about us section like that. Then I mean, why not write the whole content for my blog? What am I trying to say? From a $5 gig, the same client gave me the opportunity to write the other parts of our blog posts, other part of our blog. And then I was now writing 2 blog posts a week for her, all kinds of things. That time I knew so much about pets, especially dogs, Alsatian dogs, Rottweiler, what have you. So I started to write, 5 things to do if you are just articles like, so I was now dropping articles like 5 things to do if you're a new dog owner. That's an article, maybe 500 words, I write that. Maybe another one is that the best pet food for dogs that are allergic to blah, 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 I wrote. So, and Google was my friend, even though I knew nothing, next to nothing about dogs or dog food for that matter. I went to Google and I had all my answers. Remember, it was Google that even helped me with my freelancing journey. So that research skill was already in me. I went back to Google, got the information, and I think from $10, this woman eventually started paying me $500 a month. I think she did that. Okay, that very month that I started, that February. By the time February was ending, I think she paid me $500, as in writing content, writing this thing. So $500, if you convert, that's almost like 200,000 naira that month. But remember, I started with $5. Remember, I was so diligent with that job. I took that job like it was a 5 million contract. So that's the thing to take home. I like that. Taiwo is saying preparation meets opportunity. So all those 7 years I've been struggling with my writing craft without success. It was just preparation time, guys. It was just preparation, guys. God was just sharpening my sword, my writing sword. You know, they call us wordsmiths. You know, God was just sharpening my what's it called, my craft. And I like what Felix said, focus and consistency. If I had given up on my writing along the line within these 7 years, I would have gone on to something else, maybe graphic design, maybe driving Uber, maybe what's not. Maybe I will even go and learn programming. But once you find a craft, dig it deep enough until you hit gold. All right, guys, let me hear your yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes,
Wow.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
So okay. So now I forgot to mention any questions you have while I am going through this, write it down somewhere. We're going to have a question. I think the second session is going to be more about question and answers. Okay. So once I share my story, tell you one or two things, then a large chunk of the second part of this session after the break is going to be you asking me questions. Throw any questions at me that has to do with freelancing, and I am your go-to guy. I'm here to answer them all. So please start writing down those questions so you don't forget. Okay, guys? Hello?
We can hear you,
Yes, sir.
sir.
We-
Yes,
Okay. Okay, so let me keep going. So
Sure.
that was how I started to make like $500 every month on Fiverr. I did that for like 3 months, and then I moved on. So I kept researching. I didn't feel like I've gotten to paradise. I was still researching how to be a better writer, how to get better clients, how to do this, how to do that. I wasn't resting on my 200,000 a month bill as a freelance writer on Fiverr. I was still trying to learn more. I started buying courses. I started watching all kinds of YouTube videos. In fact, my wife would be like, don't kill yourself on this freelancing, because I was just so in love. I wanted to learn more. I wanted to know more. I wanted to improve my skill. I wanted to upskill. I wanted to do everything. And that helped, because one of those days I saw another article. In fact, if you look at my story, it was articles that was changing my life. You know, it was the first article I saw about freelancing that made me get into the business. It was another article that now upgraded, you know, my freelancing journey. So I saw another article. It was by an American. This American was talking about, you know, freelancing on a platform called Upwork. That if you're a freelancer and you're not on Upwork, then you haven't started. Why is this guy saying like that? Me, I'm doing well on Fiverr. And I say, So I signed up for his newsletter. So I think twice a week I would get what's it called? I would get blog posts and newsletters from him, talking about his story, talking about his successes, talking about his academy. Yes, Upwork.com, off for Jeremiah. That's right, Upwork.com. So that's how, you know, I made an effort to get into Upwork. But guess what? Unlike Fiverr, that was able to set it up within, in fact, is it 2 or 3 hours? Upwork was different. Somebody said that Upwork is more strict and organized. I think somebody said it along the line. Yes, Upwork, those guys, forget them. They're not like Fiverr. So when I tried to get in with my Fiverr swag, it bounced me off. So I was trying to get in. They kept rejecting my, what's it called? They kept rejecting my profile. They were telling me that my skill is not a good fit for the clients on Upwork. I was like, what are you saying? Is it not the same Americans? And and the Australians and Canadians on Fiverr? Are they not the same people that should be on Upwork? So they kept rejecting. They would tell me, try again in 6 months' time. I was like, and me, I had that go-getter spirit. If I want to do something, I won't sleep until I get it done. So I was like, look, who is going to wait for 6 months? I want in now. And that's how I started to do some research. I made some calls, and then I met a contact. So this contact said, I can get into Upwork. Yeah, get me in. So I paid a good sum to get in. It was a lot of money to get into Upwork. And within 3 hours, he got me in. I'm in. And that's where, I decided to partner with the guy. The guy still works in my academy to date. He's the one that helps me on board anyone who is interested in Upwork. He gets you in less than 24 hours. And he's so busy, so many accounts to onboard every day. So, but he delivers. So that was the story of how I met him. I paid him a huge sum. He got me in. And unlike Fiverr, where my first job was $5, on Fiverr, where my first job was $5 and then a $5 tip. On Upwork, my first job was $200. Guys, that's like 80K. So my first job, and I fulfilled it in 24 hours. It was a lot more than the About Us content. I think I had to write about 700 to 1,000 words or something. But this guy paid me good money. Okay, I think I missed a part. This mentor that I told you said I should come on Upwork started talking about another kind of writing. He said, look, this one you are doing on Fiverr is content writing, and it's just for the small boys there. That if you really wanted to do well in your writing craft, then you have to be a copywriter. Which one be copywriter again? So, and I joined this free what's it called? Free newsletters, free videos. I went on YouTube, started typing copywriting. What's copywriting about? So, and I found out that copywriting was writing for brands, writing stories for brands, helping brands sell their products or services. It was a deeper kind of writing than content writing of just entertaining and informing your audience. So I say, for this purpose, the Son of Man was born. So yeah, let's dig deep and find out about copywriting. So that's what I started to do. I started reading, no, not copywriting like that. Umar Mustafa, the writing there's copywriting, these ones that lawyers do, where they help you get your products copyrighted. I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about copywriting. Copy, C-O-P-Y, then W-R-I-T-I-N-G. So that one is copywriting, and copywriting is more like writing for brand. It has nothing to do with these things they do in CAC or whatever. No, this one is writing for brands. Most of the MTN adverts you see, most of the videos of Airtel and whatever that's back here in Nigeria, they are done by copywriters. Okay, so copywriters are the ones that will create the script for those videos you see for MTN adverts, for Airtel adverts, for what other brands are populating DSTV these days, like multi-choice adverts, like which one are they even doing now? Any advert you're seeing online that is marketing. I think there's even this Copper Chef. I don't know if any of you have seen this Copper Chef adverts on DSTV, that they talk about a particular pot that even if you heat it to 500 degrees Celsius, it will not break and blah, blah, blah. Yes, whoever wrote that copy, it's a script. So the voiceover person is just reading that script. That script is done by copywriters, okay? So, and so on and so on. So copywriters are the people who write landing pages, email newsletters or email copy, web copy, like all these copies you see on homepage that really sells products. If you go on the Uber website, the homepage and every page there, they are written by qualified, experienced, excellent copywriters. All these Mercedes-Benz adverts you see when they bring AMG series and all that, they are written by excellent, crazy copywriters, and they are paid crazy money. So it was my mentor that told me that copywriting was the highest form of writing. Once you became a copywriter, you make the highest money in the writing industry. And it was true, because it took time for me to learn it. But as I was learning, I was also taking action, trying to see if I can do a landing page for you, do web copy, do email, do this, do that. And over time, I started to do it. So that $200 job, the first one I got was a copywriting job. It wasn't a content job. And I got it done. That same day, I put it out to the client and he approved it. I made $200. From there, the story just went boom, boom, boom. So it's just 3 minutes to 12 now. So let me round up and then we'll go for a break. I need to take some water. And I'm sure you need to soak in everything I've been saying since. I'm sure I'm pouring too much to you at the same time. Okay, so you need time to digest everything I've said, even discuss, even think through it before we go back. Anyways, what am I? Somebody is saying I like the 9 mobile app ad. Yes, those 9 mobile adverts, they are done by, they call them the kind of copywriters who do that. That thing is called video scripts, or some people call it video script letters. Video script letters are written by copywriters, some of the best. Video script writing is another advanced form of writing. I even wrote a script for Mercedes-Benz through an agent. So, but it was for their AMG series for 2019 or 2018. I wrote one for them, and that guy, even though he paid me so much, I know he was an American who had direct access to Mercedes. So he gave me the job like a subcontract. So I know that he paid me, I think I wrote about 40 words for the advert. 40 video, the script was about 40 words. And I think he paid me $500. But I know that for him to have paid me $500, maybe he had made $50,000 from that. But what's my own? At least. At least. Me, I made $500. Whether he made $50,000, that's his own business. Me, I shall made something good out of it. So that's that. So there's something called high income scheme. Copyright is one of those high income scheme, and like that. So anyway, so that was the story. And then I got to that point where from, I think that month when I got on Upwork, including the $200 that I started with, I think I made up to $700 that month. I think the next month I started hitting like $1,000 per month. When I hit that 1,000, me and my wife, we went down thinking, so you mean I could make $1,000? That's about $400,000 a month. You mean I could make like $1,000 in a month and all that? But from that point, currently now, it's $1,000 a week, $1,000 every week. So I don't want to blow my trumpet more than that. And that's just one of the other things that I am doing. And then I'll be sharing some videos with you at the end of today's class. So when you see it, you will see my earnings on Upwork. Everything is there in black and white. I did a video where I logged into my account and shared my results. So you will be able to have fun at that. But as you are looking at my results, the amount I've made so far, the amount I make per week and whatever, focus on your own success. I'm not going to share any of that money with you. Focus more on your own success. Focus more on your own story, the one you're going to share to others at a training like this. Focus more on that. And if I could do it with writing, Nigeria is a country where they don't reckon, Americans created the English language. So they don't reckon with Africans being good writers. But I was able to break all of those barriers and become a sought-after writer. No, sorry, a sought-after copywriter, paid $1,000 every week. So if I could do that with writing in a third world country where English is not our first language, then what do you think you can do with your graphic design? What do you think you can do with your UI UX design? Because I understand those are like the two areas, product development or something that GIZ/Next Factory is about. If you can hone your skill, everything you've learned at this training is good, but my brother and my sister, go deeper. That's my preaching to you today. Go deeper. Go on YouTube. In fact, be crazy about content. Be hungry for content. Go everywhere, every nook and cranny, looking for anything new you can learn about product design, that you can learn about UI UX. Yes, I like what Oroma Ifere is saying. Stay hungry. If you want to stay successful, stay hungry. Even now that some of you may be screaming at my results, I'm still hungry. I'm still trying very hard to be better. Because this one that I'm earning $1,000 a week, I know even Nigerians like me that are earning $4,000 a week. Doing, I think, what's this? I saw somebody on Upwork in Nigeria hitting $4,000 every week. Doing what? What's this thing this guy does? Yes, software development. He develops softwares for clients abroad in the US, UK, and all that. This guy hits $4,000 every week. I've seen people that are Nigerians like me. They hit they hit $100,000 every year. Nigerians, flesh and blood. So, even while you are looking at my results and shouting, me, I'm feeling I'm not there yet. So I'm still sharpening my skills. Me too. I would like to make 4,000 a week. I would like to make 10,000 a week. In fact, my mentor makes $100,000 every month. With the American mentor. So I want to meet that. So when you check my videos that I'll be sending, you will see my own results. You see, I think so far on Upwork I've made 40,000 plus. So it's going to 50,000 because what they do on Upwork is that I think right now the ad is after every 10,000 that they update my profile. So I am at 40,000 plus. I think I'm about $47,000 so far within this. And I've been on Upwork now is 1 year plus. So I believe that maybe in another 2, 3, or 4 weeks from now, maybe I will hit 50,000. But I see Nigerians hitting 100. So you see, I'm still a learner, like we say in the Nigerian palace. I'm a learner like you. So, but just go deeper. Whatever it is you have learned out of this training, go deeper, 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 deeper. Sometimes do your sleepless nights and whatever. So, and that's that for that. So, guys, I think at this point we're going to take a break. I've shared a lot with you already. I want you to take a pause, digest everything I've told you so far. Let me go grab some water to drink, and then by 12, okay, it's already 12:05. By 12:15, I should be back. Can we do that, guys?
It's cool by us, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So let's
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
let's all right. So let's reconvene by 12:15. Yes, let's get back to 12:15. So I will be rested and ready to deliver the rest of the content. Thank you so much for your time, guys. See you 12:15.
Hello, everyone. So this is like a brief reminder, please. Quickly go to the poll and vote for our choice of location for the live hangout, all right? See you on the live hangout group. Please cast your votes so that I can close the poll and we move on deliberations for the hangout. Amazingly, we're going to be having our facilitators join us at the hangout. So it's going to be a great one. Yeah, brother, I'm doing this for all of us, so it's not just about me. I'm just taking responsibility. If I abandon it, God no go shame us. So. All right.
I do freelance voting. Whoever wants me to help them vote is $5 per vote. Thank you.
Now, wow. Me, safe.
As in already.
$5, sir. It's too expensive. Just give me $1. I will do it for $1. I'm very cheap.
Leave my own.
No, we're in the group, but I don't see anyone voting. I don't know what is going on.
Well,
No, deliver in a second. Just send me the money.
Anaka Gabriel, are you in? This way, like saying, me and you there, Abuja. We got to find out to do this, you know. I get plenty to say.
How do you know I'm in Abuja?
Did they not just say it? That you're in
bed
Abuja?
whispered it. A bed whispered it. We know, all of us.
said?
No, we know you are in Abuja. All of us, we know.
Jesus.
Yes, there's a tracker on everybody in this design school. Anywhere you go, we are.
Anaka, how we go to meet? There are plenty things you need to teach me. Where in Abuja are you?
Simple and short.
Let's start planning our own hangouts. This one they are doing in Lagos, we cannot attend.
Amazingly, Anaka will be at the hangout, so don't. Sorry, Jude. Yeah, she'll be at the.
I may attend. I may
Anaka
not.
man no
I'm
hear
not
that
sure
thing
yet.
2 times, so I go vet for you. Jude, as I was saying, Anaka will be in the hangout, so sorry for you.
I bet
Anaka disappoint.
for you.
I did.
Anaka cannot disappoint. She knows now. There's more at stake. She has to be there. She will be there.
Anaka sounds like Amaka. You say Anaka cannot disappoint. Be there.
She's not Amaka. Is he Amaka? Wow.
Jude, let's
I
talk in
beg,
camera.
talk in camera, sharp.
All right, no problem.
All right, guys. Takwabe is taking the lead on the votes. You can go and cast your own vote. This is going.
Young, I'm sitting beside you on that day. You know, go enter boat.
Yeah.
I go hold you. I don't tell you. Make you just know. Make the whole class know.
See, I don't understand. I dey fear who they sit beside me. Everybody can sit beside me. I will hold you all to the promised land. Don't worry, I'll be your savior. I'm available. I fear nothing.
Yeah, I'm sitting beside Miss Motunario.
People should go and drink
She's
water.
on mute you now.
Go and drink water. Go and drink water.
This guy is too like girl.
Takwa Bay na dangerous trip. These people, I don't know why I won't go Takwa Bay.
Which dangerous trip? Now you feel
I like you, Joe. Thank you for being
I
here.
go enter water boat.
You don't like cruise.
No, one make some of us come there. Abi. Don't worry now. We go organize our own hangout.
Damn, I did with you. Before I vote, where is Takwa Beach? Takwa Beach located, please.
It's not the.
Just carry go there straight up. Alpha Young, which DJ will